Hello students, welcome back to chemistry class. Today, let us continue the lesson carbon and its compounds. In the previous class, we have learned the chemical properties of carbon compounds. In this lesson, we are going to learn 4 chemical properties. Among these, 2 chemical properties we have learned in the previous class, combustion and oxidation. Today we are going to learn other 2 chemical properties, addition reaction and substitution reaction. So before starting the addition reaction, let us see what is meant by an alkyl group. So we have learnt already about the alkanes. The first member of alkane is methane. Its molecular formula is CH4. Next, ethane, C2H6. Next, propane, C3H8 and so on. So an alkyl group means one hydrogen atom less in the alkane. For example, you know the methane structure. Carbon is bonded to 4 other hydrogen atoms. In this, one hydrogen atom is less. We can see that is CH3. And there will be one bond. So CH3. Carbon is having 4 valencies, so one bond will be there. So this CH3 with one bond, this is called methyl group. So giving the name also it is easy, methane, AN is replaced by YL. So an alkyl group alone it is not existing. It will be bonded to some other group or some other carbon atom etc. For example, here if it is bonded to OH group, you know that is methanol, alcohol. If this is bonded to Cl, that is a chloromethane. And it is bonded to another CH3 group, you know that is ethane. Carbon-carbon single bond and all these hydrogen atoms. Carbon is bonded to 6 other carbon atoms, hydrogen atoms. That is a ethane. One more CH3 group. Carbon with 3H. It is attached here. That is the ethane. If it is attached to another CH2 and CH3 group, that is propane and so on. Next, consider ethane. Its formula is C2H6. So we can see its structure. Carbon is bonded to one carbon by one single bond and remaining valence is satisfied with the hydrogen. So CH3, CH3. If you are writing together, we can write CH3, CH3 or C2H6. In this, one hydrogen is less. This is called the ethyl group. So what is the formula? C2H5 with one bond. As I told already, this bond, it can be attached to a functional group or any other carbon chain, etc. So alone one alkyl group is not existing and this is called ethyl. So this is methane, this is a methyl group. Methane is CH4, methyl CH3 which one bond. This is ethane, C2H6 and this is ethyl group, C2H5 with one bond. This also we can represent as CH3, carbon and hydrogen together, CH3, one bond, then CH2, one bond. So similarly, how we can represent propyl group? Propane is C3H8. So propyl group is C3H7 with one bond. Or we can represent like this, how we represented the ethyl group? CH3 bond CH2, then one bond CH2, that one bond. So that is a propyl group. So alkyl group means in alkane one hydrogen atom less. That is called the alkyl group. Alone one alkyl group is not existing. It will be bonded to some other functional group or any other carbon chain. Now let us see what is meant by addition reaction. What is meant by addition? Adding something. So to an unsaturated compound, any reagent is added. That is called the addition reaction. So in this lesson, we are going to learn the addition of hydrogen. So let us see what is meant by addition reaction. Unsaturated hydrocarbons add hydrogen in the presence of a catalyst such as palladium or nickel. to give saturated hydrocarbons. So this is called the addition reaction. Addition of hydrogen to an unsaturated compound to give a saturated hydrocarbon. This reaction is carried out in the presence of a catalyst. In the presence of catalysts like palladium, nickel, etc. What is meant by a catalyst? A catalyst is a substance that causes a reaction to occur or proceed at a different rate without the reaction itself being affected. That means this catalyst, what is its function? It increase or decrease the rate of the reaction, speed of the reaction. Most of the cases it is increasing the rate of the reaction, but itself it is not taking part in the reaction. So what is a catalyst? It is a substance that causes a reaction to occur or proceed at a different rate. That means the reaction rate is increasing, speed is increasing or decreasing here, without the reaction itself being affected, but it is not taking part in the reaction. So without taking part in the reaction, a catalyst changes the rate of the reaction. That is called a catalyst. So here this addition of hydrogen to an unsaturated compound, that is carried out in the presence of which catalyst? Either palladium or nickel or platinum also can be used. Now let us see the example. You know, ethene, that is an unsaturated hydrocarbon. Carbon is bonded to another carbon with a double bond and each carbon is attached to two hydrogens. You have learnt already. Ethene. Now, if hydrogen is added to this, how the reaction takes place, let us see. So here what is happening? Among this double bond, one bond breaks. You know this bond is formed by the sharing of electrons between these two carbons. So this bond is broken means this electron of this carbon will get, other electron this carbon will get. And this hydrogen bond also broken here. When the hydrogen bond is broken here, this also formed by the sharing of electron, covalent bond. So if this bond is broken, the corresponding electron, this hydrogen will have its electron, this hydrogen will have its electron. So here carbon is having one electron, hydrogen is having one electron. These two shares the electrons and one bond is formed here. Same way here also one bond is formed. So the mechanism of the reaction, it is not required to learn for you in this level. Higher classes you will learn that. Just understand here what is happening. So what happened here? The double bond become single bond. How it became single bond? By the addition of hydrogen. So hydrogen is added. Each carbon one hydrogen is added and the double bond is broken. It became single bond. That means saturated hydrocarbon is converted into unsaturated hydrocarbon is converted into saturated hydrocarbon. This reaction is done in presence of the catalyst nickel or platinum. Pt means platinum. Or it can be in presence of palladium also, as we have seen here. Palladium, its symbol is Pd, capital P, small d. So once again, so this what we get now? Ethane, CH2. C is attached to hydrogen and one more hydrogen here, 3 hydrogen, and C is attached to 3 hydrogen here. So this also can be written as this is equivalent to CH3, a single bond CH3. So once again, here what is happening? Unsaturated hydrocarbon. The double bond is breaking and hydrogen also, the bond between the hydrogen also breaks and this hydrogen is attached to this carbon, this hydrogen is attached to this carbon. So ultimately what is the thing taking place here? Double bond became single bond. That means when hydrogen is added, unsaturated hydrocarbon is converted to a saturated one. This is called hydrogenation. This also can be called as hydrogenation. So, Here we have seen the simplest alkene, ethene. Suppose this is propene, means here instead of one hydrogen it will be CH3 group, or carbon is attached to one hydrogen and one CH3 group it will be. If it is some other higher alkanes, sometimes here also one CH3 group can be attached, here also one CH3 group can be attached, like that. Okay, so let us see. Generally this reaction we can write C double bond C. This represents the unsaturated hydrocarbon, and it can be attached to any other alkyl group, or here one alkyl, all can be hydrogen, that is a ethene. One can be one alkyl group, it can be methyl group or ethyl group, propyl group, anything. And all these are can be the same, all can be methyl group, or one can be methyl, one can be ethyl, one can be methyl group, and one can be hydrogen. Anyway, this all represent the unsaturated hydrocarbon. So generally we can write this reaction as C double bond C, and remaining two valencies is we can write with the R, or it can be H also. So this is a general representation. So unsaturated hydrocarbon on addition reaction, it is converted to saturated hydrocarbon. General representation is this: C double bond C, all the four bonds that are attached to R group or alkyl group. What are alkyl group? We have seen already. It can be methyl group CH3, or ethyl group C2H5, or propyl group C3H7, etc. So this is done in presence of nickel catalyst, or palladium or platinum. So here the double bond breaks, and this hydrogen, each hydrogen is attached to each carbon. So this is a general representation of the reaction, and the unsaturated hydrocarbon is converted to saturated hydrocarbon. So hope it is clear. If it is all this is R, this is ethene. So what is meant by addition reaction? Addition of hydrogen to an unsaturated carbon compound to convert into a saturated one. This is done in presence of the catalyst nickel, platinum or palladium. Next, let us see the definition of hydrogenation. Hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen, same thing what we have seen now. So addition reaction means it can be addition of anything. So especially we are giving hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen. It means addition of hydrogen to an unsaturated compound is called hydrogenation. Let us see what is the industrial application of hydrogenation. In industries, hydrogenation reaction is used to convert unsaturated oils into saturated fats. So the process of converting liquid unsaturated oils into solid saturated fats by passing hydrogen gas through them is called hydrogenation of oils. So oils are mostly liquids, fats are mostly solids, and oils are liquids and fat is solid. So these oils are mostly unsaturated, and solid fats are mostly saturated. So this unsaturated one, to how to convert saturated one, already we have seen by passing hydrogen in presence of the catalyst nickel, platinum or palladium. So in industry, the importance of this hydrogenation is to convert liquid unsaturated oils into solid saturated fats. So why this oil should be converted to fat? Because fats are having more shelf life than oils. What is meant by shelf life? The durability, how long it lasts. And it is also easy to transport them, because than the liquid, the transportation is easy for the solids. So these are the 2 points we have to keep in mind why the hydrogenation is done. Why the oil is converted to fats? Because oil, compared to oils, fats are having more shelf life. That is one point. Another one, fats are easy to transport. So this reaction is done in presence of nickel, or platinum or palladium also can be used. So we can see vegetable oil, it is converted to vegetable ghee. Oil is unsaturated and ghee is saturated in presence of nickel catalyst. Hydrogen is added here. So what is the industrial application of hydrogenation? To convert liquid unsaturated oils into solid saturated fats by passing hydrogen gas in through them in presence of the catalyst nickel. Now you must have seen advertisements starting that some vegetable oils are healthy. So which are the vegetable oils are healthy? Mainly the sunflower oils. What is the reason for this? Let us see. So animal fats generally contain saturated fatty acids are said to be harmful for health. What is this fatty acid? We have seen already one group of organic compound called carboxylic acid. What is the functional group of that? COOH. So the fatty acid means that is a long chain carbon with a carboxyl group, carboxylic acid group. That is called a fatty acid. So chemically these oils and fats are fatty acids. Higher long chain hydrocarbon, it is attached to a carboxylic acid group, COOH group. That is called a they are fats or oils. So fats or oils are chemically they are fatty acids. They will have a carboxylic acid group in their molecular formula. So fats contain saturated fatty acid. That means there will be only carbon single bond present in that. Or in between every carbon there will be only single bond. In fats, they are saturated fatty acid. And oils are unsaturated fatty acids. So which contain oils containing unsaturated oils are containing unsaturated fatty acid, and fats containing saturated fatty acids. So oils containing unsaturated fatty acids should be chosen for cooking. What is the reason? Let us see the reason. You know, saturated compounds are less reactive compared to the unsaturated compound, because in saturated compound all are single bonds, so they are less reactive. But in unsaturated compounds there are double or triple bond between the carbon atoms. That's the reason they are more reactive. So here let us see the reason. Unsaturated oils are easy to digest because they are chemically reactive. Many health conscious people consume food cooked in unsaturated oils like sunflower oil. So here this is, as it is unsaturated, they are more reactive. That's the reason easily they will get digested. That's the reason we have to use unsaturated oils like sunflower oils for cooking. So what is the problem with fat? Fats are saturated, so they are chemically inactive. So it is so easily it will not get digested. So health conscious people always suggest the unsaturated oils like sunflower oil. Saturated oils or fats digested slowly because they are chemically more inactive. So what is the importance of this unsaturated oils and saturated fats? Unsaturated oils are easy to digest because they are more reactive. So unsaturated oils like sunflower oil we have to use for cooking. Sunflower oil, cottonseed oil, etc. Saturated fats, as they are saturated, they are chemically inactive, so easily it will not get digested. So health conscious people always suggest unsaturated oils like sunflower oil. Next, let us see another chemical property of carbon compounds, that is substitution reaction. What is meant by substitution? In place of one, another one will occupy. So let us see its definition. A chemical reaction in which an atom or a group of atoms in a compound is replaced by another atom or group of atoms is So what is a substitution reaction? A chemical reaction in which an atom or a group of atoms in a compound is replaced by another atom or group of atoms. That is called a substitution reaction. So saturated hydrocarbons are fairly unreactive and are inert in the presence of most reagents. So we have seen that saturated ones are very less reactive. So most of the cases they will not react with another reagents. So they are unreactive and inert in the presence of most reagents. However, in the presence of sunlight, chlorine is added to hydrocarbons in a very fast reaction. Chlorine can replace the hydrogen atoms one by one. It is called a substitution reaction because one type of atom or a group of atoms takes place of another. So saturated hydrocarbons, as they are unreactive with most of the reagents, it won't react. But in presence of sunlight, if chlorine is added to a hydrocarbon, each hydrogen is replaced by the chlorine one by one. Let us see the example. So here methane, its formula is CH4. When it reacts with chlorine, how the reaction is carried out? In presence of sunlight. This, in the place of one hydrogen, the chlorine occupies. That means one hydrogen is substituted by chlorine. So what is the product we are getting? CH3. Here carbon is bonded to 4 hydrogen atoms. So when chlorine is added in presence of sunlight, instead of one hydrogen, chlorine occupy. So what is the formula? CH3Cl. And the hydrogen which is replaced by chlorine, that hydrogen, the other chlorine atom combine to form hydrogen chloride. So this is called methyl chloride. This is a common name. You know chemical name it how to write? Chloromethane. You know already have studied this. Chloromethane. This is also called methyl chloride. This is the common name. Now to this again chlorine is added. What will happen? Another hydrogen is replaced by chlorine. So we'll get CH2. So one hydrogen is less here. In that place what is occupying? Chlorine. So we'll get CH2Cl2. And the hydrogen which is replaced by the chlorine, that hydrogen and another chlorine combine to form hydrogen chloride. This is called methylene chloride. This is a common name. The IUPAC name or what we learned the nomenclature, that is a IUPAC nomenclature. IUPAC name. IUPAC means International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So here we can, according to IUPAC nomenclature, it is dichloromethane. 2 chlorine to methane, it is added dichloromethane, or it is also called methylene chloride. This is a common name. Now to this again chlorine is added. How it is? This reaction is until all the hydrogen replaced by chlorine, the reaction continues. Next step, what will happen? Next step, another hydrogen is replaced by chlorine. So we are getting CHCl3. And the byproduct is HCl or hydrogen chloride. This is called chloroform. Common name. Other name is trichloromethane or chloroform. Now again the reaction takes place. It continues till all the hydrogens are replaced by the chlorine. So this hydrogen also replaced by chlorine will get CCl4. This hydrogen is replaced by chlorine. One more chlorine is added here. We'll get CCl4 plus HCl. This is called tetrachloromethane or carbon tetrachloride. So in example of substitution reaction we have seen, in methane, each hydrogen atom is replaced by the chlorine one by one. It is easy to write this equation CH4 plus Cl2. Upon the arrow mark you write sunlight. That means it is taking place in presence of sunlight. So each step you can see one hydrogen is replaced by chlorine, CH3Cl plus HCl. Next step, CH3Cl plus Cl2, CH2Cl2, one hydrogen less and one chlorine more, CH2Cl2 plus HCl. Again this react with the chlorine, CHCl3 plus HCl. Next this is reacting with the chlorine, CCl4 plus HCl. So for with the higher hydrocarbons, the more number of products are more. So here we are getting 3 products CH3, Cl, CH2, Cl2, CHCl3, CCl4. If you are using ethane, until the 6 hydrogens are replaced by the chlorine, the reaction continues. So number of products are more if you are using higher hydrocarbons. So today we have learned among the chemical properties, two properties, addition reaction and substitution reaction. In addition reaction, we have learned what is the industrial application of hydrogenation. So hydrogenation, we have seen that unsaturated carbon compound are converted into saturated ones in presence of nickel catalyst or palladium or platinum. That is called hydrogenation. Hydrogen is added to unsaturated compound to convert into saturated one. We have seen it industrial application to convert unsaturated liquid oils into saturated fats. Then we learn substitution. In the substitution reaction, we have learned the example substitution of methane with chlorine by chlorine in presence of sunlight. Hope you understood today's class. Thank you, children.